Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. And today we're going to be doing Green Lantern, the Sinestro Corps War. Now, Geoff Johns. Many consider Geoff Johns to be one of, if not the best writer in DC right now, holding out many titles such as The Infinite Crisis, Superman, Teen Titans, Hawkman, and most notably, the Green Lantern. Since the start on Green Lantern with Rebirth, we've been getting some of the best Green Lantern stories to date, and many consider Sinestro Corps War to be the best of the bunch. Now, just like Grant Morrison's R.I.P. story with Batman, Sinestro Corps War feels like it's the end of everything that Geoff Johns has been cultivating up to this point. But on the contrary, Sinestro Corps War is actually the middle point in Geoff Johns' larger, bigger scheme for the Green Lantern. Also, many people consider it to be the best Green Lantern story since Green Lantern has started. The best Green Lantern story ever, to date. Is that really the case? Is it really as epic and grand as everyone says? Or is it just another Green Lantern story? In this review, I'm going to give you the good points, the bad points, and the overall story arc and the major themes, giving you a decisive, definitive review to show you is Sinestro Corps really worth the buy and really worth the read. Now, much of what Geoff Johns has been writing in the Green Lantern builds up the Sinestro Corps. The return of Sinestro, Parallax, and the distribution of the Sinestro Corps ring. These elements, among others, transition and build up to the Blackest Night story arc. However, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the Sinestro Corps. Now, the Sinestro Corps War starts off with Hal Jordan frantically looking for the Sinestro. After getting a tip from Batman, who was attacked by a Sinestro Corps ring, trying to make him a Corps member. Because, well, Batman can instill fear pretty good. And that's what the Sinestro Corps is about. Batman, however, took off the ring so he didn't become a Corps member. Hal Jordan is unsuccessful in finding Sinestro. And at the same time, the Guardians are starting to bicker amongst each other about the Blackest Night prophecy. Now, this is a big part of the story, and although it may not seem big starting off, it what transitions into the other story arcs afterwards and into Blackest Night itself. See, two of the Guardians, who are actually considering themselves individuals, and that also experience emotions and give themselves names, believe that the Blackest Night prophecy is something that should be taken into consideration, that it should really be looked into. However, the other Guardians think of it as some kind of bogus story that Abby Stewart made up, or that he got from someone that was just screwing with him. Now, I'm not going to expand on this too much, because it's only a small point in the story that really means a lot later on. However, it is something that should be paid attention to. Now, the Sinestro Corps finally attacked the Green Lantern Corps. They attacked the Green Lantern Corps at their corps house, or the chapter house, or the area house that they live in. It's kind of like one of their bases. And let me just say, there's an all-out fucking battle. Shit flying everywhere, Sinestro Corps members just kicking the shit out of the Green Lantern. While this is happening, Kyle Rayner is also infected with the entity known as Parallax. And Parallax returns as Kyle Rayner. Of course, it's not Kyle Rayner, he's trapped inside Parallax. We also find out that Superboy Prime, Cyborg Superman, and the Anti-Monitor are all part of the Sinestro Corps in some way, shape, or form. The Anti-Monitor actually being the Guardians of the Sinestro Corps, with Superboy Prime and Cyborg Superman being members. They have their own individual reasons, but they are members of the Sinestro Corps. Now, they start attacking this chapter house, this corpse house that the Green Lanterns are at, and a big freaking war blows up. It's just like absolutely insane battle. And the Green Lanterns get their ass handed to them because, well, they can't kill. Lethal force is violated by the Green Lantern. However, we'll get into that a bit later. Now, Mongo. If you don't know who Mongo is, he's that big freaking planet that's actually Green Lantern. He's in control of actually distributing the rings to new Corps members. If he's destroyed, then, well, there's going to be no more Green Lanterns. So, what happens? The Sinestro Corps attacks Mongo, and it's up to the Green Lanterns to protect them. Now this is what I consider the biggest battle out of the whole entire thing. Probably the most dire battle of all, because there's two big battles in this story. There's the one on Earth, and then there's the one on Mongo. Mongo is a very important battle because, well, if you kill Mongo, there's no more Green Lanterns. And they come pretty close to killing Mongo. The Green Lantern's finally given the ability to kill with lethal force because of the Guardians. And they're able to drive off the Sinestro Corps members. But, see, that's not the end of it. No. See, Sinestro and his corps decides to attack Earth. See, they don't give a shit about the Guardians right now. What they care about is the 52 multi-universes, and Earth plays a major role in being the center of the 52 multi-universes. Now, Sinestro with his corps goes to attack Earth, and Hal Jordan, along with Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner go there to stop Sinestro, along with Earth's heroes, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the rest of the Justice League. And they're not doing a good job. The Sinestro Corps are kicking the living shit out of them. It isn't until the rest of the Green Lantern Corps show up and the battle ensues. Now, Sinestro reveals during this that his plan all along was to actually turn the Green Lantern Corps into somewhat the Sinestro Corps. People fear the Green Lanterns now, because the Green Lanterns kill. Well, people being the Sinestro Corps. But now the Green Lanterns are instilling fear, and that's something that Sinestro wanted all along. So, whether he's winning or losing, Sinestro in the end is getting what he wants. Now, the big cultivation of this battle is on Earth. You have the Anti-Monitor showing back up. You have Superboy Prime getting into a fight with the new Ion. Yes, there is a new Ion, and it is a fight, my friend. It is a fight. And then you also see Cyborg Superman show up trying to get himself killed, because he just wants that. But heroes fighting corps members, corps fighting corps, it's just all-out freaking battle. Now, I don't want to reveal too much of the ending at all, because, well, it's something that you should really read. So with that said, let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Let's start things off with the good. Sinestro Corps War does a very good job by showing that you don't need an in-depth or complex storyline to be good. It is pretty simple and to the point. This is fucking war. It's battle. Good guys, bad guys. Shit's going down. So, while there may be traits in this that transition over into later story arcs and adds to the complexity of what the Green Lantern's been since Jeff Johns has been on, the story itself is pretty simple and to the point. It's fucking war, and it does it very good. In addition to this gives you a big feeling of dread. It actually feels a lot like a crisis, and it feels more like a crisis than some of the crises that we've been getting. So it has that great war-like feeling. You feel like shit is going to be going down, and you feel like there's going to be some losses, and that the bad guys are going to win. In addition to that, we get returns of some fan-favorite villains. We get Parallax, Superboy Prime, Cyborg Superman, and the Anti-Monitor. Now, the Anti-Monitor in particular, I'm happy that he returned, because it's only proof more, the references made in this, that the crisis happened during the modern continuity around the middle 7th year of DC Universe. See, it's really been debatable on where the crisis is placed in the timeline because, well, it deals with a lot of multi-universes. And seeing that the Bronze Age is considered part of the Silver Age and the modern continuity, it's really hard to determine where the crisis fits. Now, this story only supports that the crisis happened and that the modern continuity superheroes that we all know and love today participated in it. Now, in addition to that, this is a very balanced story with this character. It's not just the Hal Jordan story with the other 3 Green Lanterns of Earth participating. This is about the Green Lantern Corps as a whole, and it does a good job at distributing the story to everyone. Everyone has a part in the story, and it is fun that everyone has a part. It's not the Hal Jordan show. In addition to that, the battle scenes are absolutely great. Ion versus Superboy Prime is kick-ass. The battle on Mongo is pretty nice. And even the battle on Earth is really good. Sinestro depowered versus Kyle Rayner and Hal Jordan depowered is actually pretty fun to watch too. So on the whole, the battle scenes are nice. Now onto the bad. And there is bad in this. First bad. is the Guardians. Well, see, the Guardians really didn't play much of a part other than keep on complaining about the Blackest Night and having to change things around, and really, the part was kind of just blah. Now, I can understand trying to promote the Blackest Night and kind of start things going on that story arc, which is currently happening now. However, they did it so many times. They could have done it like 3 times and I would have been happy. They did it like 5 times. Now, that's just one small minor complaint. The biggest complaint I have with this story is the fact that it starts off very slow. Now, many people will disagree with me on this. And although it's structured very nicely, I feel as though that things don't pick up until the Green Lanterns get attacked by Sinestro Corps. And I feel as though it really doesn't get down to shit until the attack on Mongo. So, really, it takes time to build things up in this. But once things start get going, it gets going. Now, those are the only 2 bad I can think about off the top of my head, or in general. See, it's really hard to think about bad for the Sinestro Corps role, and I try to find faults with it, I really do, because there's no such thing as a perfect comic. However, Jeff Johns does a very good job at making a very simple story enjoyable. It feels like an action film for a summer movie, and it's just pure fun. You know, shit's flying everywhere, it's great action, people are dying, heroes are being made, and just overall, it's a very well done story. The only other big complaint I would have with it is the ending. And I won't get into the ending at all because I don't want to ruin it, but everything was finished and made up into a nice, neat package, and I really didn't care for that. But despite all that, should you pick up the Sinestro Corps War? Definitely. I would recommend it, especially if you've been reading Green Lantern up to this point. Sinestro Corps War is what I consider one of my favorite Green Lantern stories. Is it the best? Well, that's yet to be seen, but it does hold up to the other stories out there, and it's definitely well worth picking up. You should get some of the stuff beforehand with the Green Lantern, like Rebirth, Hal Jordan Wanted, No Fair, and also Revenge of the Green Lantern. If you pick up those 4 stories, then you'll be better prepared for the Sinestro Corps War than just going into it blindly. However, despite all that, I would definitely recommend these 2 volumes. They're only $14 each in paperback form, so you're going to be paying around $28 plus tax with them. But it's worth it. They're fun stories. I do think that the 2nd volume is actually more action-packed and fun than the 1st volume, but as a story on a whole, it just works very well. So, with that said, I can't really say more about the Sinestro Corps than anyone else can. Everyone agrees that it's a good story. I think there's a few more faults to it than other people do, but the faults in it are really minor, and they're not really worth dreading on. I mean, they're faults. Everything has a fault. But Sinestro Corps War does a very good job at showing what it's good at. An absolute fun war story with battles everywhere. Fast-paced, and you'll go through this really quickly. I highly recommend the Green Lantern, the Sinestro Corps War. It is a fun read. With that said, this is Andrew. I'm saying peace out for now.